Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us. As we do every week, our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans.
Hey, wrestling fans, this is Mr. Technical Barry Horowitz. When I listen to the finest podcast, I listen to the Working Fans Podcast. It is supreme, because I said so.
Hi, this is Dave and AJ, and you're listening to the Working Fans Podcast. And today we have a special treat. We have a guy who's wrestled all over WCW, WWF at the time. You might have seen him in even Global Wrestling Federation. We are on the line with Barry Horowitz. Barry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. I appreciate being on the podcast. I've heard a lot about it, and I'm excited.
Awesome, Barry. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, man. We usually just like to get off kind of the earliest memories. If I'm correct, I think you did train with Boris Malenko. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And how was that? How was breaking in and everything?
That's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me after I got, been around a while and seen how different guys get trained and whatnot and different other trainers, and nothing against any of them, but maybe I'm being biased, but I think I've been trained by the best ever. I mean, it was a phenomenal experience, and basically, you have a house, you have a foundation, you have bedrooms, you have an attic. He built my foundation of my body and mind and soul, and then to get polished, you're leaving the school that you're breaking into and whatnot, and you go on the road, you travel, and you're with different guys, different matches every day. So that's how you get polished. Otherwise, you won't. But the foundation of the house was built solid by Boris Malenko and his sons.
That's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. That's good. And we had Bob Cook on. I think he said he was trained by Boris too. Would you guys have been there around the same time?
No, we weren't. I think I don't know if I was in the first or second class of his beginning of his school. The only ones that really made it out of our class, really, is myself and Al Perez. I mean, the rest did good, but I mean, as far as TV and traveled the world and so forth.
I think one of the things coming out of Boris Malenko's school that you really see is the fact that your fundamentals and your footwork and everything you did in the ring was always spot on. You were so good at something that not everybody's good at, and eventually sometimes it can hurt a little bit. You were excellent at making other people look absolutely incredible because of your work rate, and I think that's an awesome quality that he put into you.
I appreciate that. It's just, it's first of all, it's the hunger for the business and wanting to do this. That's me, as an athlete. And then the rest is following direction, keeping your mouth shut, listening to the master. And, we were training 3 or 4 times a week in a mattress factory, about 104 degrees in the summer and about 40 in the winter, about 3 hours a pop, and that's after a part-time job and working out with weights. Then you'd warm up for at least a half hour or more, and then you'd be doing, a bunch of stuff, holds, moves, submissions, getting in the ring, how to hit the ropes, just a plethora of fundamentals when it comes to pro wrestling and amateur wrestling.
Where did you wrestle amateur, Barry?
Basically, I started at a youth center in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I'm from, and then went to high school, and I wrestled at FSU, and also also specialized in sport nutrition. So I'm a certified nutritionist.
Oh, cool.
Barry, like yourself, I'm from Sarasota originally, and I happen to be a huge Seminoles fan. So we have a little something in common there. Did you?
Sarasota, Florida, home of Robarts Arena.
Exactly. Did you grow up on Florida Championship Wrestling like I did?
Oh, sure did. Heck yeah, the best.
I think that learning from those guys, you talk about personality and learning how to put it together, having people like your Dusty Rhodes, like your Kevin Sullivans, having those guys and their personalities down there, just absolutely incredible. And then the athletes like Bob Roop, just amazing in that time period.
Let's not forget my favorites, Jack Briscoe, Don Morocco, Mike Graham, Bob Orton Jr.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome list. Awesome.
I don't think Don Morocco, to be honest with you, or Bob Orton get the credit that they deserve. I know that they both have gone into the WWE Hall of Fame, but when you look back at that work in that time period, them and the Briscoes, oh my God, those matches.
Hell yeah, definitely.
Obviously, you trained with Boris. Was there anybody else, once you got started wrestling, who maybe helped you out along the way? Anybody in particular?
Oh yeah, I mean, I learned from a lot. Now, you realize after I went there, after I, so to speak, if you will, graduated, I was there like a year and a half. And you went on to different territories, but I learned a lot because I actually started, I was doing the independents, these little shows for Malenko, and then mostly my next step was, this is a hard one, I basically talked my way into the WWF when it was held by Vince Sr. and Jr. Basically, I got in the car and moved up north. I lived in South Jersey, Belmar, to be specific, and I called up Gorilla Monsoon at his house. And back then you could do that. And he answered, and I basically just told him I was wrestling like 2 years, and I thought I was pulling a fast one. He probably knew better, but I would do TVs at Allentown and Hamburg, Pennsylvania every 3 weeks. And I mean, in 2 days, I probably wrestled 6 to 8 times on TV.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm talking the who's who, Jimmy Snuka, Bob Orton Jr., Chief J. Strongbow, Bob Backlund, Adrian Adonis, Jesse Ventura, Tony Gurria, Rick Martel. The list goes on, and you learn, and you see these people. But after about a year, you need to go to a territory and wrestle regular matches. And I would ask Vince Sr., and I was actually supposed to go to Portland, Oregon. Jimmy Snuka was going to help me get there, but the territory was full, so I wound up in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Crockett Promotions. And that was the best move because I was wrestling 5 to 6 nights a week in the car. Maybe once a month we go to Canada in a plane. And 6 nights a week. And again, you're driving with Jimmy Valiant, Rufus R. Jones, Ric Flair, Bob Orton Jr., Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood, Mark Youngblood, Harley Race. I mean, the list goes on. The list just goes on forever. It was a hotbed there. And that's where I learned to be polished. I mean, North and South Carolina, Virginia is huge. We were probably doing 3,000 miles a week in a car.
That's crazy. That's just that.
But it was great because I liked the way they did things there. If you were first or second match, especially if you were green like me, you have to stay to the end and watch every single match.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, I was single. I have nowhere to go. I'm driving with the referee, either Tommy Young or Sonny Fargo, and mostly I was traveling with Jimmy Valiant or Rufus R. Jones, sometimes Bugs in the Raw, and you just listen, Johnny Weaver, Roddy Piper, you just listen, absorb, talk when you're supposed to and whatnot, and yeah, I just watched I took my shower real quick and then just watched every match, beginning to end, for about 2 years.
Most everybody knows your run in WWF/WWE, and you were known for doing a lot of enhancement work, but eventually they did an angle where you beat Skip, I believe it was, Chris Candido. Storyline in Texas where you were the winner. Did that happen first, or was that after?
Yeah, that
Global was first.
The winner was in Global Wrestling Federation, and Eddie Gilbert thought of that, and he gave me a decent push. It was GWF Light Heavyweight Champion.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. Got good time, got good exposure, good interview time. So that that was a good milestone in my career.
Yeah, I remember that. That's what I thought happened first. Like, I didn't even look that up. I remember that as a kid, and I was trying to think if that came first, because I was wondering if you think that maybe WWE might have got that idea, or do you know the background about how...
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there was a long gap between that, like 3 years. I think they finally seen that I'm loyal, I hung in there, and I'm just more than, there's some guys in this business, and I'm not knocking anybody, but they're just, I'm going to be a wrestler, I'm part-time. I mean, they didn't pay their dues in the gym, or they just lightly established as far as fundamentals.
Well, plus...
That wasn't me. My goal was to be, to go further. Now, again, not everybody could be Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Jack Briscoe, Mike Grant. You got to have a winner and a loser. I mean, the Patriots lost last week, 2 weeks ago. I mean, that broke my heart, but it does happen. It has to be. I mean, it's just the way it is, and you could take it or leave it. So I strive for the best I can, and I think they noticed my striving and initiative, and finally did something with me.
But let's face it, even those superstars that you mentioned, like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, if they don't have somebody that they can work with and tell a story in the ring, then they don't get to where they are. And without Barry Horowitz, those guys wouldn't have gotten as far as they did.
Right, because they could go in there and pull off a match, and they're over on TV, and that gets you only so far. And then if you have a crappy enhancement guy, it'll bury you. If he don't sell that tombstone right, if he don't do this right, if you got a crappy ref, remember now, he's the third man, that could kill a match. So, if you have somebody like myself, or I'm just thinking, people like Tim Horner, Brad Armstrong, Reno Riggins, Ben Jordan, you have guys like that, the match gets over. Not Barry, not Shawn, the match gets over. That's what a lot of people miss. And if you have that, you go from good to great.
You also, Barry, had something that a lot of enhancement talent did not have in that time period. I love Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong, obviously one of the great workers of all time. But you had something that Brad had behind the scenes but didn't have in front of the camera, and that is personality. When you got into that ring, the crowd actually knew who you were, and you were able to actually bring them emotionally into the story. Even when you were playing a bad guy or whether you were actually playing the face, you were able to actually bring them along, which is something a lot of enhancement talent didn't have.
No, well, you got to understand, they didn't because they're not in it like how I invested to be in it. This is my dream. This is what I've been wanting to do since I'm 15. So between being an athlete, being an amateur athlete, working out, studying films, doing things, taking this from that instead of copying people exact, if you do all that, it's got to spell success. It has to. It's foolproof.
Yeah, and I think that's why you garner the respect in the business that you still garner. Anybody who's ever worked with you, I was lucky enough to work up and down the East Coast, and anybody who I've ever met along the way who's ever worked with you, nothing but good things to say about your professionality and what you were able to do.
That's what I'm about. And it's not an act. It's not like I have to go, okay, you got to be this today. This is me. This is real. If you ask me to do the opposite, oh my God, it would mess up my life. I would have to work. I would have to go, how do I be a goofball? How do I do this? I really have to work at this. It's not in my DNA, is what I'm trying to say.
I got a question for you. The pat on the back, like, it was over. For, being a guy who's doing mostly enhancement work. When I was a kid, you stuck out because of that, though. That was something that stuck out. Was that something you just thought off the cuff, or how did that come about?
It kind of stemmed from one of my amateur matches. I don't know why I did it. I don't know what I was thinking. Remember now, I was only probably when that happened I probably was 16 or something on the wrestling team, and I did it after I think I outpointed the guy and won, and I did that, and of course I got disqualified for that. And
no kidding.
The coach. So I put that in the back pocket, and I never forgot it, and I said, now's the time to take it out of that pocket. You're an established heel. Let's give this sucker a try and a run.
That's awesome, man.
It worked.
Yeah, it did. I mean,
It only worked because if you're a wrestling, and I emphasize wrestling, that's what it says on the outside of these buildings on the marquee. It says
Oh, yeah, you can say whatever you want here. No worries, Barry.
Okay. So anyway, that's what it does. So between my arrogance, my heel, my psychology, and you do all of that, my look, my moves, the amateur moves, the pro moves, the solid working, then you throw in the pat on the back, you're done. It's complete. The formula is done.
I think that that's one of the things that's missing from today's modern wrestling is the focus on the wrestling. It's become way too much sports entertainment with storylines like what's going on in the WWE right now and stuff of that nature. It's got to get back to focusing on the wrestling like you did. What are your thoughts on the modern product?
I watch when I have time. I'm going to be honest with you. I flip different channels, different shows and stuff for it, and I don't mind the entertainment because that's a part of it. You can't knock that at all. You just got to be careful how to mediate it. But I'm the type of guy, if he's flipping, and I watch some stuff, and I can see faults and so forth. I point it out in my head. It keeps me active. It's like reading a book and what have you. But if I'm flipping the channels and I see a match, and I'm just going to use this one for an example. I saw it a couple of years ago. I'm going to stop and watch the whole thing from beginning to end. And I really like this match. It was really cool. It just popped to my head. So there's many of them, but I'm going to use this one for an example. And it was Kurt Angle against Jay Lethal. And I think it was in TNA or Impact. That was a hell of a wrestling match.
100%. That was absolutely tremendous match. To see two athletes like that take the wrestling seriously, tell a story in the ring. People forget that even though it's sports entertainment now, if you tell a story through your wrestling and play to the crowd and do the right things, you can be as entertaining as anything out there without having to go gaga on the storylines.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because you can't knock any match. I mean, you have a midget match, you have a girls match, you have tables, ladders, and chairs, you have hardcore. None of them I'm not into because I'm into my own style, but as long as you're doing it with perfection, it's good because you got to have variety. You can't have a menu with just hamburger, french fries, and a hot dog on it. You can't have it. You got to have variety.
Absolutely.
People like variety. And as long as you do it right, I don't want to hear, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. No, you work the people, they don't work you. You educate them. To this day, you could have a wrestling match. I'm sure, you just don't want to be lazy or boring, but if you do my style or Bret Hart or Owen Hart style or Armstrong or Tim Horner and all these other guys that are similar to me, you still will capture the audience. They like it. They're hungry for it because case in point is All Elite Wrestling.
Absolutely. Speaking of AEW, they had that big pay-per-view a couple weekends ago, and you were part of the StarCast panel for that weekend. How was that?
Awesome. That was friggin' phenomenal, guys. I'm glad you brought it up. It was truly a great experience. I was happy to be picked and a part of it. I wasn't at the pay-per-view because I wasn't involved in that, which is fine. But I had my own, spot, and it was really good. I mean, I was at MCW Thursday night, and I went to the ring with Cole Cabana, my new friend. He's a really good guy. And it was a tag team match, and it was really cool. And then we did some online interviews. Also, from there, we went to, the next day was StarCast. And not only did I do my meet and greet, but they had a forum on the stage, which a bunch of different segments had it, but we were one of the early ones where 4 different enhancement guys were introduced. I was last, and we were interviewed by Cole Cabana. And then all of us came out together, and we did a Q&A. This thing went on for at least an hour, and it was really cool because, it was a little bit different thing. There was a lot of shooting going on and stuff, and, today's fan, you're a good, smart wrestling fan. You don't want to try to fool them because it's not cool. If you start, lollygagging and start defending certain things, there's certain things that they don't need to know about or you don't need to discuss, that's fine. But if you try to kayfabe them or do something like that, they know better. They're the audience, but they're almost part of it. They know better.
One other thing I wanted to ask you too, Barry, was like I said before, we had Bob Cook on, and what do you think it is? A lot of the enhancement guys are really good at talking and telling stories too, but it's not like you guys necessarily got a lot of mic time in the major feds, but you come off so polished and just great storytellers. You think there's something to that?
WWF, but WCW, Global, all of my independent leagues, small, Smoky Mountain, all of this, I did interviews, I did camera work, but I also watched the best do their promos. And I mean the best. I mean, the top of my head, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson. Are you kidding me? These promos are world class. And I'm watching different storytellers and, just getting different things. Babyface interviews, Jack Briscoe's interview, Mike Graham, heelish interviews like Bob Orton Jr. and stuff like that. So you think now, you gotta, copy, but you absorb. So you think about all that, and then of course you go over it in your mind too. And, you practice.
Yeah, the mirror helps a lot with that. Also, people forget that you came in at the end of the territory days and you were lucky enough to come in a time period where you were still working the crowd on those independent dates. And when you have those independent dates, it's not like being on TV for WWE for 5 minutes. You were having an opportunity to work the crowd, talk to the crowd, have interviews. And I think a lot of the modern fans forget that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
We're doing a special holiday episode coming up, Barry, for Thanksgiving, too. And so we've been asking all our guests this. Is there anything in particular you're thankful for, whether it's wrestling, personal, whatever you want to talk about is fine?
As far as, there's a couple of things. I'm thankful to be healthy and mending. I was injured for about a year or two. I'm healthy to be back in the gym 6 days a week. I'm happy for my career. I'm happy for my wife and son. I'm thankful everything for that. And just, it pays to get up in the morning. I'm happy to be upright.
I get it.
And I'm just, I'm hoping more good things to come. To end the chapter on my career, I've been doing the meet and greets. There's no reason for me to get in the ring anymore. I paid my dues, but my biggest goal at the top of my mind, if you said what's right now, I definitely hardcore pursuing to work for the PC Center in Orlando.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think you belong there, and if they're not smart enough to put you down there to help out with those kids, that's their mistake, quite frankly, Barry.
I'm not trying to put myself over, but they're missing the boat not hiring me. I don't care if you work me 6 days, 5 days, 2 days. I can contribute something, and if I can't, get rid of me.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And working for that company for junior and senior, and it's not like I want to showboat. I want to help. I want to, that's my forte is seminars, teaching, you're amateur, you're professional, some guys don't even know how to get in the ring or grab a headlock to this day.
Yeah.
I think they do.
Look at Larry Zbyszko. Larry Zbyszko would have matches that would last 12 minutes and only 2 of it was in the ring.
Yeah. Larry Zbyszko's cool. I like Larry Zbyszko.
Oh, one of the best.
Yeah.
I like his mindset. He appreciates good wrestlers.
And the fact of the matter is, we only get so many bumps on our bump card. Why use more than we have to in the time that we have to?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Is there anything you want to promote or talk about, man, before we go?
Yeah, I just, my biggest thing is my Facebook page, which it's been up a few months now, and I never had it. And it's really cool. You could go there and see pictures and so forth and where I'm going and stuff. And basically, I've just been, like I said, pursuing the PC Center in Orlando and doing these meet and greets. Also, I do some seminars. I did one in Williamsport about a month ago, Pennsylvania, and that was really fun and a pleasure. Guys were listening and paying attention. And you could go there and just see all about, if you just Google my name, it'll go to all different sites. It'll go to the WWE site. It'll go to Where Are They Now. It'll go to my career, my Wikipedia. So, the Facebook, and there's a bunch of new pictures and what I did actually just a few days ago because I've been busy for the last week or two going to, StarCast and these other events, the big event, which we just did 2 or 3 days ago, which is only once a year. I mean, anybody who's anybody. I mean, I know there's a lot of those conventions, but I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, the biggest of the year are StarCast and the big event in New York. And I made both of them, and I was really happy about that. And you meet a lot of appreciative fans. I mean, I'd have to say, back in the day, they were wise guys and stuff, and some guys don't know how to talk as a fan. They're lost a little bit, but I'd have to say near 100% respect on the fans, my fans the duck. And I'm hearing numerous people, fans, peers, say exactly what you say as far as giving me props about myself. And the big one is I've been hearing a lot about the Hall of Fame. And this is really cool. And this is it, the answer. 2 words when they said, why aren't you that? I said, well, number one, next July, I am inducted into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. And that's upstate. That's, if I'm not mistaken, it's Boston or Warwick, Rhode Island. It'll say it on my Facebook, or if you go to their site, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, which the 3 biggest are the one that was in New York moved to Texas, which I heard they're moving the one from Texas back to New York. Then, of course, the WWE, and then the New England one. So, getting back to the 2 words, why aren't you in the Hall of Fame WWF? And I say this, and I'm serious about it. Ask Vince. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
I'm going, I'd love to be here. I should be there. But ask Vince. That's it. 2 words. Ask Vince.
I think we need to start a hashtag, Barry Horowitz HOF.
Yeah, I think it's been started already, guys.
There we go.
Well, we're getting on it, too.
I think it's been started, but I think it's even on my Facebook, and if you want to further that, go for it. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Barry. Thank you so much, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Barry. Thank you for your time.
That was great. I'm glad we did this. And
No problem, man. I'll message you when this airs. It should be on in the next 2 weeks or so.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks, guys, and I appreciate you calling me.
All right, no problem,
Thank
Barry.
you, Barry. We'll talk to you down the road.
Have a great day.
Guys. Hey, you too. Take care.
All right, so that wraps us up for this week. Thank you again for listening to the Working Fans Podcast. So as always, you can find us on Twitter at FansWorking. Our Facebook page is Working Fans Wrestling Pod. We have email where you can reach out to us and let us know what you think also. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, workingfanswrestling_pod. And then as always, please continue to listen to us on Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, all your major platforms. If you're following us on Apple Podcasts, which we are also on now, and YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps us bring you these podcasts where we get to talk to you and talk with you every week.